it as leverage for your entire life when you let alcohol go. And it's an adjustment at first. I know that what I didn't realize that I now know is how much effort it takes in the beginning when you're changing your life. And it is so ingrained in your lifestyle. I'm from Miami area, and it's just like that. It's just so connected to your life that you're doing this, that all the time alcohol is involved, that at first it will take more effort and energy. And then it's not going to take that much energy later on.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Sober and Wellness Podcast. I am Abigail Padro, your host. And in today's episode, we have Julia. And I'm really excited because Julia and I are friends and we met through our sober community. So, welcome, Julia. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, Abby. I wanted to say thank you so much first for inviting me on here so we can talk about sobriety and wellness.
Yes, yes. So for you guys that don't know, Julia is a PT, physical
Mhm.
therapist. I know we say PT, but sometimes we don't know that, right? Unless you have an injury or something like
Mhm.
that, like me with my knee. But yeah, so she's all about wellness and she's going to share with us her story and why she got into an alcohol free lifestyle. But before that, I want to get into how we met
Yeah.
and about something else besides Reframe that you guys have not heard of yet.
Okay. So I joined Reframe, which is the app for cutting back or quitting alcohol. It was interesting to me because they advertise for a science-based approach to letting go of alcohol, which is known to be a neurotoxin, and how to eliminate it from your life based on science. And that was really interesting to me because I'm all about that and what the effects are on the body, because I am very interested in the physical aspects and how I can feel my best physically. So that drew me in. I joined Reframe, and that is an app where you go to meetings. There's all sorts of information on the app that's really interesting. Did you do any of the courses or learn about how alcohol affects like the gut, the microbiome? Have you
Yes, I did
learned
some
about
of
that?
them. They have a lot of those courses, and I did like probably like three of them, and I really did like them. They
Mm-hmm.
teach you so much, a lot of science.
And then I discovered they have meetings. So I started to go on to the meetings, and even some where the group shares and some where there's one speaker that lasts for an hour. That's called a speaker share. And in one of the group meetings, there was a post that you can join a separate app called Marco Polo. And I had heard about it, but I didn't know what that was. So I joined a group of people that all video chat. It's called a Snapchat for video. And you join a group, and can you explain more about what it is?
Yeah, so I think it's like kind of like a Snapchat, but for adults. I think it's more,
Mm-hmm.
for me, Snapchat is more for teenagers.
Yeah.
So Marco Polo is basically a video app where you can talk so that you get groups of people like in some sort of chat. And in there, it has a feed, but the feeds are actually made with either videos, pictures, or notes. But most of the time, I would say 95% of the time is video. So it's pretty cool because you're getting the message with their emotions and their face and everything. Because, you know, sometimes text messages, you don't really convey the whole emotion, but I feel that in video, you totally do. So it's that kind of platform. And we were in this group that it's called the Oh Welcome Cafe.
All strangers joined a
Yeah.
group, about 25 people, and everyone just checks in on their day. And I met Abby through that, and I saw her coming in from Orlando, and I'm local South Florida girl. So I really liked her, and we have been meeting people within that group, and I've seen Abby now 2 times before today, and now we're together again. So I've learned a lot. I mean, it's been over 6 months that I've met you, and I've seen you almost every day on my phone.
Yeah. So it's like you do have that feeling of being friends because we are friends, even though we were not physically in the same space, but we are in the same state. And this is our third time meeting each other. But we talked every single day for that long. And sometimes I think I talk more to you than my real friends. Like the one, when I mean my real friends, is the ones that are here near me, that we go out and do things like that.
Yeah, it's
So
fun.
it's a pretty interesting app. It's definitely for the people that have things like this. Because if you don't have anyone and people don't use it, it's really not good. Because I try to get my best friend to use it.
Yeah.
I downloaded. I told my boyfriend, and they don't use it because I have nobody else besides me.
I've heard that families use it too,
Yes.
also communities of people, and it's really something interesting. And it made me feel like I was part of something and that I am not alone. And it's fun. You get to have friends, and they call it like, I'm right here in your pocket. So that was an excellent thing for me to have in addition to the Reframe app and all the other tools and modalities that I use for being my best self and being my best physically, like I'm talking about mentally also, and just everything spiritually too.
Yes, and now that we're talking about Marco Polo, so I just came up with an idea, Julia. So I'm gonna create the Sober Wellness podcast, Marco Polo, to open it to you guys. So that way, if you want to communicate, it's completely free.
Yeah.
The app is free. They have a paid version, but you don't have to get that one. It's free.
Yep.
And there you can maybe find a community that it's looking to get better, that it's looking to stay away from alcohol and just, wellness.
You'll put the link in the notes for them. Yeah, they can.
I have to create the,
Yeah.
the thing first, but I will put the notes when the podcast come out. By the way, this is my 10th episode, double digits. Woo! I just want to say thank you to all the people that have been supporting me from the beginning and listening to my podcast. So I'm really, really, really thankful to be able to help as many people as we can, sharing our stories, like today's Julia's story about why she decided to live a alcohol-free lifestyle. So tell us a little bit more about that. Why?
Yeah. I was feeling what it boiled down to for me, and in the one example that I can think of, and there's multiple reasons and that it affected me, but the way that my head felt in the morning when I woke up. And I don't want to wake up feeling bad. There's no reason why I should feel bad if it's something that I can control. And I knew that it was related to alcohol. So I made up my mind that this was what I wanted to cut out so I could feel my best. And that sensation in the very front of my head that would feel heavy and foggy and affect my sleep, affect the way that I would carry about even my morning time. It affected my morning and then obviously the whole day because of that. I wanted to make sure that I had enough rest, and then it would interfere with my rest, and then I wouldn't feel good. And it was just like, it just catapulted, and it wasn't good for me.
Yeah, and I can relate to that because that's really also why I stopped drinking, just because I wanted a better life, a healthier life, and alcohol was not serving me for that, even though we don't want to admit it, right? But it wasn't. And now that I don't drink for a year and a half, it's been a total blessing in the sky. How's it been for you? How long have you been?
It's almost 1 year.
Wow.
Yes. 8, 8. And at first I was just cutting back and then cutting out different kinds, like saying only light, only wine, or only champagne or something like that. And I just noticed how intolerant I was. I don't know if it's the age or just me being more sensitive, but I could react to even like a small amount of that. And since my whole career is about being the healthiest that I can be, I am living that life now that I know and I understand what is the substance that, and we've talked about like learning how it is considered a poison, and that Dr. Amen says no amount of alcohol is safe, and unlearning the programming that big alcohol tells us so they can sell, so they can advertise, and they can sell to us to have a good time, have a fun, release stress, What else do they tell us?
They do that. Well, yeah, like you said, on straight coping.
High status. So you can have that without that substance. And yeah, it's all around helpful. And someone described it as leverage for your entire life when you let alcohol go. And it's an adjustment at first. I know that what I didn't realize that I now know is how much effort it takes in the beginning when you're changing your life. And it is so ingrained in your lifestyle. I'm from Miami area, and it's just like that. It's just so connected to your life that you're doing this, that all the time alcohol is involved, that at first it will take more effort and energy. And then it's not going to take that much energy later on, but you have to pay attention so much to what you're doing and your habits at first. And then you will adapt, and it'll become it will become habitual that you're not a drinker.
I like that. I like what you said also about Dr. Amen. He's amazing. He is a psychiatrist. He has done thousands of scans from drinkers and non-drinkers, and he goes to explain that our gray matter in our brains shrink by this substance. And he actually explains the stuff that it does to us. I think it's a great source to look just for overall knowledge. He also talks about other substances and which one is good, like better or worse. He says that both are bad. Well, he talks about a lot of them, but he has an Instagram page that you can look into it if you guys are interested more about that. And if you want to actually get a scan, you can go. He's out of Miami, at least one of its locations. I would like to do that actually to get a scan and see where it's at. I would love to do it when I was drinking in a year and a half, because he does says that the brain heals, right? And it's very interesting. And another thing that you said that it's really important to tell our listeners is that yes, when you start doing this lifestyle, it does take a lot of effort at the beginning. I compare it to like a rocket. When we have SpaceX taking these rockets out, in order to just break
Through the atmosphere.
that's really where the energy goes. Once it breaks, it just flows. And that's the same thing when it comes to drinking or non-drinking. So a lot of people I feel like that they're almost there, but in that resistance, and they're almost about to break. That's when they give up and they go back to drinking. But then when you go back to drinking, it's like 10 times worse to go back and get all that energy again to get what you were.
But you can still learn from that moment too. And they talk about breaking habits or addiction or anything like that, like an upward spiral. So it's not going to always just be straight up, but you can learn as you're going. If you're not completely successful with it, just keep on trying. And I love how Coach Tina makes the analogy about a brick house, that you're laying a foundation for a brick house, and every day you put on a brick. And if you do not put a brick one day, the bricks that you already laid down are still there.
Yes, that's good, because the point is to keep trying. That really is what we all trying here, and it's not about perfection, it's about the journey. And that analogy is really good, because sometimes we forget we're so hard on ourselves. You want to like, oh, I drank one drink, and people go like, this is the end of the world. No, it's not. You still have a lot of progress. There's still a lot of days that you did not consume this substance, and for that you have to give yourself props. So now that you are almost a year alcohol free, what are the benefits that you are experimenting with or that you like?
Yes. At first was wondering if we could talk about a little more tools about how you do it. How do you break through the atmosphere? So the meetings like on Reframe are excellent. If you do connect with AA meetings and going to AA meetings, why is that important? Because you're meeting other people that are going through the same thing, that makes you feel you're not alone. Everyone is super supportive. There's something about belonging to these kind of communities that make you feel so good that you're not being criticized or you're not being judged. And it's uplifting in general, I find. And also I meditate. I get onto my yoga mat. I stretch, getting very in the very beginning, easing off of a lot of heavy exercise was important for me. And if you need to go to sleep early, that is totally fine. Like just go into bed and just go to sleep. I watch cartoons sometimes. Like I just became a fan of cartoons and animation because of how it's a stimulating. You get to see colors and it's funny and it's innocent and playful. And so you get a little bit of the dopamine from that because you're just watching like art and fun. So when you're not drinking, you're missing your dopamine in that. It's especially, I'm sure your brain is definitely noticing how you're lacking dopamine in the beginning. So that's why stretching, taking baths, watching movies, and just finding other things that you enjoy to get the dopamine as you're retraining your brain, because you will have to create new neural networks in your brain to adapt and adjust to your new lifestyle. So were there anything that you did specifically that helped you to break your habit?
Yeah, like you were mentioning, a lot of that stuff is self-care. I think that as a society, we neglect a lot of our self-care by just being busy with life, work, working out, and so many things. But yes, taking a step back and really looking and do an introspection and say, okay, what are the things that I want to do? For example, bath. I love warm baths. Something as simple as that doesn't cost you any money. You can put a little bit of Epsom salt, put a little bit of ambient, and it really sets the tone and the mood to relax. Another one is sleep. Yeah, sometimes if you're having a craving and it's a Friday night and that was the night, because a lot of people work Monday to Thursday and they're committed to their jobs and they cannot really drink, but then Friday comes, they have Saturday off, most of them. That was their day, right? That triggers. For example, you can go to sleep early. Why not? Take a tea. I love teas now. That was a thing that
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to drink teas because they're healthy for you, but that obviously as consuming other things, I didn't need that. Now I consume tea. So at night, I will do a little bit of a peppermint tea along with a sleepy tea. So I will go to sleep earlier. And then the next day, I feel so happy and so proud of myself for not giving into that temptation to go to
Mm-hmm.
a bar and drink.
Yes.
So that's one thing. Another thing is that I did that I said that before here. I did rollerblading. I bought myself a bicycle. I went back to my childhood.
Yes.
What did little Abigail like to do when alcohol was not involved? And I was an outdoor kid. So I did that. I also bought adult coloring books. That was really, really fun. I still do from time to time, not as much as I did before. The first 4 months, that's when I was really hitting all that stuff. And also the other one, it's what is it called? Diamond art. If you have never tried diamond art, you have to. It's really cool because it takes your mind away. And yes, you're doing art, but you're really not thinking about it because it
Mm-hmm.
gives you the colors and you put it
You get
in.
into a flow state.
Exactly. You get into that flow state. And I also did paint by number. So I did a lot of things. You just have to try what is it. Now moving forward to being a year and a half, which I'm still a baby in sobriety. If you think about it, there's a lot of people that have a lot of years. But for me, a year and a half, it's a big success. Now I'm into Disney World. That's my
Yes.
new thing. I love now looking for pins at the parks with the kids. Learning the rides.
Pins?
Yes. Do you know about that?
No.
So there's a whole thing, a whole culture that I just find out to Disney World. That's already costing me money. It's expensive, but it is worth it. So you go to the park, they have these little pins from all different collections. You know, you have Mickey, the princesses, like all the characters are many. So you buy like a little necklace where you put them, and then the cast member in different places you have to look for them. So it's like a scavenger hunt. They have these little pouches or they have them hanging. And then you go with your pin. And if I like your pin more than mine, I go and I trade. I take it
Oh.
off. I keep my little thing at the back here. I give you my pin. You give me the other one and we
Oh.
trade. So that way, the cast members are the only one that have these. You cannot buy them. So I bought ugly ones first because I wanted to trade them. But I know it sounds really simple, but you find the fun in the simplest things.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now I love it. And I like the rides and I like all the stuff. So now that's my new thing. You evolve.
So I want to talk about how it's so beneficial in terms of a replacement psychology to be drinking non-alcoholic mocktail drinks, and that will satisfy, obviously, first of all, hydration and just your regular, use of drinking beverages. So I have a lot of fun with what I am drinking, and I love mixing soda water with citrus, lime, lemon, and then a splash of juice. I love some just tonic waters that are low in sugar and some coconut waters. And there's, for those that like Bloody Mary, you can have virgin Bloody Marys. And what else other than
I
tea?
I just had a new drink. That's a new thing too. That I'm going to places that I've never been and trying new things, new drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried 2 days ago taro milk tea
Yeah.
with
Boba.
also however you call those things.
Yes.
And it was good. It's a vegetable, right?
Yeah.
It's a root.
Yeah, but the drink is very
And it's
milky and
sugary.
sugar.
So that's the
Yes.
thing. You gotta be careful because you don't want to get into the whole thing. But I went to that specific place because I've never been. It was like it's like an Asian
Yeah.
bakery. So they had that, but
Nice.
mocktails I did use at the beginning,
Mhm.
but one, the thing is that you don't need that many. And since I don't like things too sweet, thank God,
Mhm.
because then that would have been a problem. I tend to go with the citrusy things,
Good.
and I will have like a soda water with a splash of cranberry and a lime. So that gives you that feeling of having something,
Yes.
not just
That's
water.
nice.
But to be honest, now I'm perfectly fine with just having water. The other thing that I used it was NA beers.
Mm.
That was sad because
Got what?
godsend.
Godsend.
Yeah. Because sometimes I wanted the taste of that beer.
Yes.
You get used
Yes.
to it. And for example, you're gonna have some pizza and wings. It goes perfectly nice with a beer for my taste. Well, guess what? I can still have that, but instead of drinking six, I only have one. That's the
Yes.
good thing.
So NA beer is, if that's interesting to you, I have NA beer in my fridge. I'll have one at most at night because I don't know if it affects like a headache or anything. I've heard of different people perhaps say that it could cause a headache the next day, maybe just the process of what it is or the trace alcohol. I don't know, but I can't tolerate me more than one of those NA beers. Then they have the alcohol removed wine. They do that through process. I think there's different processes, but the one that I looked up is they vacuum out the alcohol molecules. They separate it somehow and then they can vacuum out the alcohol content so that you still get the flavor of the grape must. And me personally, I enjoy the alcohol-free champagne, like the bubbly, the sparkling. So that and iced tea. I love ordering iced tea at lunch, and that's always available in restaurants for you to have. Iced tea, splash of lemonade, iced tea, just with a lemon on the side. It's excellent. I love it.
I tried an NA wine after my 1 year of being alcohol free, just because before that I just didn't do it. I was doing the NA beers. But I found one. I haven't tried that many. I've only tried, honestly, like four. And three of them were in this restaurant called 60 Vines. And the brand that I love that you can actually get in Amazon and it's really true to the flavor, it's called Otterbird. And it's really, really good. Now, I went to a supermarket here, it's called Publix, and I bought one bottle there. That was not good. It tasted not even like grape juice. I don't know what that was, but I didn't like it. So you see, you have to play
Yeah.
and find what you like. But Otterburn, which is like $25 for a bottle, if you really want to do, like, for example, a wine and cheese board and you want to pair it with a good wine and you want to have that, the thing is that you don't have to deprive yourself from things that you like.
Yeah.
You can have the same things without having the chemicals behind it, right? These companies are becoming more aware now, and they're actually catering to people like us, to the sober community. And you know why? Because we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. People are waking up, understanding that alcohol is not necessarily the best thing for us. I don't judge anyone that does it. It doesn't mean that now we are the sobriety patrol, judging people. Because when I did drink, I did like it. That was my lifestyle. That's what I knew how to do. That's how I had fun. That's how I coped. That's how I did all my emotions, all of it. How are you coping now with your emotions, taking alcohol away?
Great. I'm very regulated, feel very confident in my abilities, my choices, my thinking, because my thinking is clearer. I am overall just in a better mindset, better than ever, and I'm trusting myself. So, yeah. The other thing is about the other tools that we like to use is journaling. So I released this journal I created based on my sobriety called the Clear Sky Sober Journal, 12-week guide for alcohol-free living, self-mastery, sobriety, and revealing the joy of life, one day at a time. And this is on Amazon. You can find it. Every week you check in with what is my why? What is your reasoning for the week? What is your intention or focus or word of the week? And then every day is a page and it goes through different topics every week: physical wellness, mental clarity, there's emotional awareness, gratitude and growth, play and joy, like we were talking about, self-love and self-care. And then at the end of each week, there's a weekly check-in, a page for free notes and free thoughts, and asking if you had any triggers, what would you do to handle them differently, and what check in with your week's reflection, and then set another reflection for the coming week. So this has been fun for me, and it was based all on my desire to stop drinking. You have a day count at the top of each page, and it was something that was all based on what I wanted to look at within myself, and I hope that you will find value in this too. So I just wanted to say that.
And I love this. I have one and I do use it regularly. And I wanted to show you guys what it is possible when you actually, get into a new rhythm of things. And the fact that something that she stopped doing, she created something new. So amazing to help herself and to help others. I really like the fact that you also have quotes here. I'm going to read one that says, "The more you focus on the good in your life, the more good flows your way." And that's so important because sometimes at the beginning, we are in such a kind of a negative state because you feel like you're missing out because you're leaving something that you're no longer supposed to do, right? So you're coming from this space of, I'm lacking. And I think it's just the opposite when you actually can change your perspective and start seeing that, wow, now I have room for new things, like creating a journal that people can buy on Amazon, and you can create a whole business out of that. Isn't that just something that is just totally amazing to show the growth and what can happen when you decide, listen, I want to get better as an overall thing. So stopping drinking or no longer having alcohol is just a little step into something bigger. And I love it because you also talk about emotional awareness. I think a lot of us don't really think about our emotional awareness. Like we don't even know our emotions. And that's why we use alcohol to cope with them, to numb them, to suppress them, to forget about them, even though we will never forget about
Or fix.
Sixteen never got to me. Okay, I tried. Listen, I did 2 decades of drinking. It didn't
Fix
fix one
anything.
single, not even one. Okay, so we are 0%. Actually, we're in the negative because it got me into other situations that I know for a fact if alcohol wasn't involved, that would never have been there. But I don't see it as a place of judgment. I see that I had to go through that to learn and to be the person that I am now, speaking to you guys and sharing our stories. So you know what? If I can help one single person not having to go through what I went through, for me, that's a win already. So you have to grab yours. I will put the link also in the show notes for you guys.
Great.
Also, something that I like is the gratitude and growth, because that's another thing that we don't do a lot of. We're so hard on ourselves, but sometimes, not sometimes, actually, I'm going to take that back. Every day, if you look into your life, there is something to be grateful for. Just the fact that you're alive and you're breathing and you're walking and you're eating and you're everything else, that's already. But more than that, the fact that it makes you think. It says here, list three things, big or small. Because that's another thing. And sometimes we want the big thing, with the fireworks at the end. And it doesn't have to be that way. It could be, you know what, today I did not get a craving. That's a win. Maybe for you it's a big one, or maybe it's a small one, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, that's so
I
nice.
love it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing and your feedback. In general, just a journaling practice is excellent because it helps you look at yourself. You're outside of yourself. You're seeing your thoughts, and it helps you just process what you're thinking and what you're feeling. So in general, journaling is an excellent practice and doesn't have to be very involved or long. You can just jot some things down, and that will help you get more aware. And why does that help? Being more aware, it helps you with your actions and making good choices, and overall just feeling at ease and at peace. And that's what I want for myself.
And something that I admire about you, that I have never told you, is I love the fact that Julia can go anywhere by herself. She gets in her car. Let's say she's in South Florida. Let me go to St. Augustine. Like, it's what, 6 hours away or seven? I don't even know. And she goes to the park. She sits down. But what I love about you is that you embrace yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that is a gift, or something that you worked on, or something, because it's definitely something that we avoid as a society. We avoid being alone, and for me that is truly a problem. And the reason I say is because being sober now for this amount of time, I enjoy myself. I like to have those alone times. Before, that was never the case.
Because you're more comfortable with yourself.
Yes, I am comfortable. Now I need it. There's moments that I have my partner I love with all my heart. I have my kids, but I need that moment of solitude, of just being with my thoughts. Because guess what? I'm no longer running from them. I'm not running a shame of my life. I'm not having to hide anything. I'm not saying that everything is perfect. When there's a need to address something, I am perfectly clear to work with it. And instead of avoiding it, I just go head on. I take care of the situation. I control what I can control.
Yeah.
The rest, I let it go. And that's just something that has made my life so much better. But yeah, you do that, and I love it because I've gone with you, like seeing her when I'm gone with her, because I see her Marco Polo, and she shows all these different things. There are art galleries. We have gone to coffee places that are saying like sober bar, but it's a coffee place.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I
So
thank
how
you.
got there?
Yes. Always been, maybe it is a learned skill because it's been for me so long now, but I really enjoy my own company. I like doing my own thing. I like my own schedule. I like to go when I want to go, and move around when it's so freeing. What that is for me is just complete freedom and liberation. I am, if I hear how people say they're afraid to sit down at a restaurant by themselves or a cafe by themselves because they think maybe other people are judging them or looking at them. Like, I don't think that way at all. It doesn't cross my mind. I happily will go into an establishment, and when they greet me, I just say it's just me, and like there's no, like, they don't say like why, like they don't say what's wrong, like you didn't have a friend to meet you. And I enjoy myself, and probably my phone accompanies me more than I should be on my phone, and that's something that I've been working on. But I have complete fun with myself, and I'm, someone said I'm a good time, and I recharge that way when I am on my own. I get to listen to my podcasts and listen to my audiobooks. I love to listen to audiobooks all the time. driving, when I'm doing my chores, I have my either the headphones or an earpiece in. And it's just really healing for me and soothing for me. Yeah. And like reading is a big thing. I love listening to things in my ears. So even when I'm out in the grocery store, I don't feel alone. I'm listening to something. I'm always learning also. And so that's a big part of when I'm out and about in the world. I am like, I'm not totally alone, I have to say. But in general, just like I like the preparation of packing my bags. Like today, I brought us our waters and I brought snacks, and like it's fun for me. I like to be organized and I like to be on the road in my car. I really enjoy that. So I hope that you can find some of that for yourself if you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, and you just made me realize something powerful right now that you said about learning. Yeah, I always loved learning, but now it's like on steroids. I really enjoy learning new things, doing new things. I don't know, it's like a new world opened up. And it's so fascinating because we have such a short amount of time in this world that I would love to do so many things sometimes. And I have to watch out because I could be in the other spectrum of wanting to do a lot. But that's another benefit of stopping alcohol because sometimes when you think about it, I want you to do this exercise and really start writing in your phone how long you spend in a weekly basis consuming this thing. And when I mean consuming alcohol, what activities are you doing around alcohol? For example, a Friday night, I went to a friend's house to see a movie, but you were drinking wine and you were drinking from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Then Saturday, you went to a barbecue and you did from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And actually, do look at the data and see how many hours do you spend doing this hobby
Activities,
or
alcohol.
and then think about the dream that you're saying that you cannot start, the thing that you say, well, it is impossible for me because I'm so busy with life and work and kids and husband and all of the million things. If you really think about it, you do have time. You just have to trade it off for something else. And alcohol might be the thing that you trade
It's
it off
going to
for.
free up a lot of your time and it'll give you brain power. And we all could use extra brain power.
Yes, because one thing about alcohol is that I don't know if everybody knows, you drink alcohol today, but the problem is because you drink today, the next day that you're not consuming alcohol, your cortisol levels are
Elevated.
so they're elevated because you were drinking Friday. So the fact that you drink Friday doesn't stay there. It has a ripple effect. And that's
Yes.
the reason you're sluggish. That's the reason you have that fog.
Anxiety.
Anxiety is a big one. So just really give yourself the opportunity to look into your life with the lenses of how am I having this relationship with alcohol? Is it serving me? Is it not? Listen, if you're doing good with it and you're fine, by all means, like I said, we're not the police, but I think you can definitely look into it and get benefit from it or cutting back.
Elevate your frequency. Just tune into a different channel. It's really amazing. You're going to notice how much your vibration lifts, your time frees up, your brain is clear, everything's better. Align your life, align your physical, mental health.
Yes. And your friends, how are you navigating that part? As we know, she could be a solo person, which is a
Mm-hmm.
great thing. You know, maybe it's not as hard for you than other people that
Mm-hmm.
might be.
I love saying I gave up drinking. It's fun to see the reaction of people, and I'm just like, yeah, I just let it go. And there was a conversation once in our group about how do you announce it. And like, just like how I walk into a restaurant, like, hi, it's just me here for one person. I just say to someone that, like I went to a party, a birthday party, and no one, it wasn't like I was even asked about it or offered. I was just making the announcement to my friend. I said, oh, and I gave up drinking. Like, this guy's a doctor and he's like, oh, good for you. He's like, I should try that. I should do that.
Yeah, I'm a doctor. I'm in healthcare, telling people how to live a healthy life.
So you
It's
can help
funny.
other people too, and just say it with your heart. Just say it with like no hesitation, and just it's who I am. That's it.
Yeah, own it. Just own it. Once you own something, nobody can do anything with it, towards you at least. Um, when people tell me now, it's interesting because my own friends sometimes they're like, "Hey, let's go out and we'll just grab some mocktails," you know. And I don't know why that has to be a thing because I'm like, yeah, and good food too. Uh, I don't understand why we have to emphasize so much in alcohol every time you're gonna do something with friends. I don't know if it's a me thing because I don't drink anymore. But I at least I appreciate that they're like acknowledging that I
Mm,
don't drink, but it
yeah.
doesn't bother me. You can have as many drinks as you want. I could be with you. You could be drinking. I'm gonna be with you till you start getting drunk. The moment that you start getting drunk, I'm not interested because I'm present. My mind is here, and then just talking sometimes nonsense. So that's the moment that I'd be like, "Hey, it was nice to see you," but it's not a trigger for me. I know for some people it is a trigger, but for
Hmm.
me it's not.
And
So
it
it's
can be
okay.
hard to be around that at first if you're trying actively to stop.
Yes. It's actually, as far as percentages of what I've seen, it is really hard for a lot of people at the beginning to be around it. It really is. For me, I don't know why it wasn't.
Hmm.
Maybe it's just something that I didn't really care. But I did have different triggers. For example, if I have a fight with someone, that will be my trigger instead of just being with somebody else and drinking. So you have to get to know yourself. That's another thing. You get to know yourself so good. And one thing that you mentioned is that you trust yourself more, right?
Hmm.
Oh my God, that is my number one benefit, guys, of being sober is that I trust myself. I trust my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And this podcast, the Sober and Wellness Podcast, it is an example of that because I've been consistent. I've been posting every week since I started. I am working towards this. It's not easy, but I said I'm going to do it and I do it. And I've done it. And here's Julia with me on my 10th episode.
I want to give you a little present to say
Oh my God.
thank you for having me and that I love you and you're my good friend.
You are so sweet. You want me to open it
Yeah.
now? Thank you. You see, she is the sweetest friend ever. And then after here, we're gonna go have some delicious lunch, take some pictures, and whatever we want to do. Let me see. Thank you, because I seen you with this, and I wanted to try it. So explain to my friends what
There's
it is.
no
There's no
advertise,
alcohol.
no alcohol, but we're not. This is not
The shot.
an ad. This is a botanical spirit, and the brand is called Wilderton. It is a bitter sweet aperitif, and it is botanical in that it's made out of citrus, and I think there is grapefruit, orange blossom, and aromatic herbs, lush and zesty with a satisfying bittersweet finish. So you use this and you can mix it. I like to put soda with it and some squeeze of orange in there and over ice. It is an excellent drink. It is not sweet. It's not too sweet, but it is very enjoyable. So you can look into botanical spirits, but I just found this one and it is like it's like an Aperol version of NA, and it is fun. It's fun for me to enjoy this when I get off of work and just want to pour a drink.
Yes, thank
Yes, we're gonna
you.
try it after. I'm gonna see a live
Yes, and
reaction.
she comes prepared. So I imagine she has the ice, the cups,
I don't have
everything.
ice,
She
but
brings it down
I
there.
have orange. I have the soda water. So yes, I want to say thank you so much. And Abby, you are so loved. And I want to tell you how special you are and that you bring so much to people and that you are an ambassador. You are there for your family. You're there for your friends. You are helpful and you're helping with people out there that are looking at this that want to change their lives. So I want to say thank you and I love you.
That's so sweet. That touched my heart. Thank you so much. See, guys, you get amazing friends like her when you get into this environment and this community. You get the best support. Thank you so much,
Thank
and it
you.
means the world what you're saying to me. Really, it goes a long way. And I love that you gave me this because I
Fun.
haven't tried, and I don't like the sweet, sweet, sweet drink. So I know I'm gonna love this because we kind of have the same taste
Mm-hmm.
on that. So thank you so much.
Yes.
And to finish our episode, which has been wonderful, you are amazing, and you just. I love you. I have to say, I really do. You're a special person in my life. what would be one benefit or one key takeaway that you can give our listeners that might be either starting to be sober or sober curious or are struggling with it?
Just keep searching for the peace. It's inside of you and you have it. You just have to tap into it.
Yes, I love that. I really do. It's a very important thing that we all long for. Once again, thank you so much, Julia, for being in this very much. And guys, thank you once again for all of you that are listening and supporting the podcast. If you have anyone that is struggling with alcohol or they might be interested, please share. That will be one way that you can definitely help this podcast. And also, like I always say, if you're looking for a coach or you need extra help, don't hesitate and just send me an email and we can talk. It's a free 45-minute Zoom call where we can actually talk about if we would be a good fit, what are your goals, and what are you trying to accomplish. And that's it, guys. I see you in the next episode.